Hello class. Today's video is on concurrent periodization, or how to train effectively with several different periodization programs at once. This style of training has been popularized by Louis Simmons, and in my opinion it is the most superior training program for intermediate to advanced athletes, especially those people that have trouble with heavy weights and might be a little fearful of them. Those can tremendously benefit from what I'm going to present. And as this video is loaded with information, I prepared some slides to make it easier for you to understand everything I say. But first, the very important starting meme. And as you can see in this picture, the concurrent periodization is all about lifting varieties. The ones presented in this picture here might not be optimal, but in the course of the presentation you will see what I mean by doing several different exercises at once that are highly similar. Okay, but what does concurrent periodization even mean? Well, it obviously consists of two words. The first, concurrent, means that you do several things more or less at once, not necessarily in parallel, but at roughly the same time. And periodization means that you train in repeating cycles of increasing weights, aka that your training is organized in waves in which you increase the weight over time. And in combination it could mean doing 4 or more periodizations at once. That's about it. And this style of training, as mentioned, is from Louis Simmons, who had great success with it, and I think the most top-level athletes in the US spring from his gym under his training regime. Okay, but now to the benefits. Why is concurrent periodization superior for those kinds of lifters? First, it reduces the risk of overuse injuries, since you do not do the same movements over and over again. You switch the variations and therefore allow your body to regenerate and not overuse the same muscles and ligaments, etc. Second, it helps you adapt to heavy weight by going heavy every week. Every week you do heavy lifting, at least for a 5 rep max, for example. Every week is a PR, and that kinda helps you get over the fear of PRs. And third, it removes mental blockages by forcing you to train hard. Many people have mental problems in the gym and not physical problems. The body would readily adapt to whatever you do, but your mind does not want to go any further, and therefore no muscular adaptation takes place. And fourth, this style of training prevents over-adaptation to exercises. If you do the same exercise in the same rep range for a long period of time, your body will just get more efficient at the movement and won't build any more muscle. And that's not what you want. You want to regularly switch the exercises. Further, this style of training allows you to target your weak points by just choosing appropriate variations for each lift. For example, if you have trouble at the bottom of the deadlift, you can just choose a squat variation that helps with that, like the box squat. And sixth, it is fun and offers variety. Many lifting programs are boring. This one has tons of different exercises, and many people can have a lot of fun doing this kind of program. And seventh, it is very fault tolerant. Since every week is heavy anyway, and you do not ramp up your weights over the period of a month or more, it's not a big deal if you miss a session. It obviously shouldn't become a habit to miss sessions, but if you miss one once in a blue moon, you won't even realize it in your progression. And eighth, you can choose the speed of progression. You can decide if you want to go for 5 kilograms a month, for 10 kilograms a month, maybe even for 1 kilogram a month. There's always some kind of progression you can aim for. And ninth, you don't need microplates. Since you have a monthly increment, you can just go for 1 kilogram and do not have to split it over 4 weeks. And this style of training is very well suited for people that overthink and adapt fast. People that are intelligent at one thing typically are intelligent at everything, and their bodies also tend to adapt faster to the same kind of exercise, so they tend to stall faster. So this style of training really helps them. Okay, but now to an example. How does this kind of training actually look? First, we choose 4 variations for each, the deadlift, the squat, the overhead press and the bench, according to personal weaknesses. What is the sticking point for each of those exercises? Is the deadlift hard at the bottom? Then choose the sumo deadlift maybe as a variation, or box squats as a squat variation, or even deficit deadlift. If the sticking point for the bench is at the bottom, maybe do more paused benches, or pin benches, or incline benches, things that target the pecs more than the rest, and etc. You know your weak points the best, so you should choose those variations to the best of your knowledge and to your experience. And for the bench, a possible selection is paused bench, pin bench, incline bench and the regular bench for a person that maybe has trouble with benching at the bottom, like me. And now you have to sort the variations into 4 different training days and start the progression with a reasonable weight. When in the table below there is a 3 times 8, you should choose a weight which is challenging at 8 repetitions for the respective variation. And then you should choose an increment. For example, for the deadlift that might be 5 kilograms a month, for the squat 2, for the bench 2.5 and for the OHP 2.52. And in the table at the bottom there is 1 training week as an example displayed. On Monday you could start with the bench, the first variation, for 3 times 5. Then 1 week in advance the overhead press for reps, as you also want higher rep training. Then some random row variation and some random curl. On Tuesday you have 1 heavy set of squats, 2 hypertrophy sets of deadlifts, chin-ups and triceps, etc. And as you can see, each of the variations occurs 2 times during the week, so there isn't too much room between 2 exercises. And the next week would change the variations. The bench 1 would be the bench 2, the OHP 3 would be 2 would be the OHP 3, etc. And the next week you increase the variations again and again and again. When you are at the end, you start over again. And that's pretty much all the magic there is. At the end of each cycle you increase the weight. So every week you pretty much increase the weight, except for the first cycle. When we are at Thursday and go to the Friday, then the weight for the deadlift variation 1 would be increased by 5 kilograms. And that's it. Okay, and now we look at some example exercises that I do in my training. For the deadlift, for example, I chose regular deadlifts, deficit sumo deadlifts, deficit conventional deadlifts, and sumo deadlifts. As I am pretty much equally strong at the conventional deadlift and the sumo deadlift, this works for me. For the squat I choose the regular squat, the banded squat for explosiveness, a paused squat and a boxed squat, as I tend to be weaker at the bottom there. For the bench I choose regular, incline, paused and pin, the same with the overhead press, where I have regular wide grip overhead press, push press for the explosiveness and pin press for my personal weak point. And then we have the accessory stuff that you can freely choose, but for the latissimus I have some barbell row heavy and low alternating through the week. For triceps I do things that specifically target my long head, as that's my weakest muscle in my body pretty much. And then I have biceps and chin-ups that also progress through the weeks. And here is an example for tracking this. As this is obviously a concurrent program, I have to do 4 different kinds of variations each month, and I just color-coded them. So I have a red week, a yellow week, a green week, and a blue week. And each week is a different variation for each of those exercises. The first row is the, I think, deadlift row, then comes the squat row, then the bench row, then the OHP row, for example, with respectively different variations, for example. And for the chin-ups and the biceps and triceps isolation and the rows, I go with a standard linear periodization approach. And sometimes, for the isolation stuff, I choose 3-week waves. AKA, I only switch my triceps and biceps variations every 3 weeks. I do 6 of the same kind with increasing weight, and then I switch the exercise, as an example. Okay, now to the summary. What are the takeaway points? First, concurrent periodization is based on carryover. The sumo deadlift will make you stronger at the conventional deadlift and vice versa. Strength is strength. The sumo deadlift and the conventional deadlift are so similar that I get better at both at once. And by using an array of variations, you can prevent overuse and over-adaptation at once, which is a huge benefit. By switching exercises regularly, your body cannot over-adapt, and there is no overuse in specific muscles, which prevents injuries. And third, since there is no months-long ramp-up over time, occasionally missing a session is irrelevant. Especially when you have a busy work life, this is golden. When you can't plan too much in advance, this style of training is really for you. And further, you can easily target weaknesses while still progressing the main lift by choosing your variations smart. If you had trouble at the bottom of the deadlift, do more deficit deadlifts and sumo deficit deadlifts, for example. And box squats maybe. Just choose the stuff that targets your weak points, and you know your weaknesses best. And except for the higher complexity and the increased need for fancy equipment, I see zero downside with this kind of training template. You don't even have to switch it pretty much ever. You can run this into all eternity by just decreasing the increment to something your body can adapt to. I run this program for pretty much a year and have maybe increased my deadlift from really bad numbers to something like 220 or 230 kilograms, just by getting over my mental blockages, for example. Okay. And that's pretty much it for today. I hope you can utilize the content of this video in your training. And if you feel like I missed something, feel free to let me know in the comment section. If you have questions, also ask in the comment sections. And if you liked the video, feel free to like it and subscribe to the channel. And until then, I wish you a pleasant day and goodbye.